Now, if you watch One Piece, you know Luffy is a happy-go-lucky guy almost 95% of the time throughout the entire show. But there is a couple times where we do see Luffy get sad or mad throughout the show, but it's nothing that serious. You know, the majority of the time, Luffy's a happy-go-lucky guy that never really takes anything serious. Any enemy he faces, he guarantees that he could beat him. He doesn't see them as a threat. He knows 100% that him and his crew are gonna win. But there has been some times throughout the entire One Piece where Luffy has faced reality. If you remember pre-time skip Luffy, you would know that this man never ran away from a fight. It did not matter who you are. You could have been a random pirate threatening him and his crew, or you could have been an admiral. He still would have fought you. It meant no difference to him. And hell, we even saw that in pre-time skip. We saw an admiral pull up on Luffy and his crew, and Luffy instantly gets to fighting him, but he gets washed in like 1 second. And in that moment, you would think Luffy would realize, okay, I'm not as strong as I think I am. But nope, he didn't even realize that. After he got defrost, he was just ready to go back at it again like nothing happened. But there has been a few moments pre-time skip where Luffy did face reality, and the first one being when Kuma fought him and his crew back at Sabaody, and the second one being when Ace died. When Luffy and his crew pull up to Sabaody, they're having a grand old time. They're not really worried about the challenges they might face at the new world, and they're not really worried about they're not strong enough to handle the new enemies at the new world, because in their mind they just went through the first half of the Grand Line pretty quickly and pretty easily. They didn't struggle that much, so they're thinking, why would the new world be any different? We're clearly strong enough to handle the enemies at the new world. But reality sinks in on them very slowly as an admiral pulls up to Sabaody and teaches them a hard lesson. Admiral Kizaru pulls up to Sabaody, and he really teaches all the younger generation of pirates that are at Sabaody a very hard lesson, that they are not built for the new world. And sadly, Luffy and his crew got taught that lesson in a very hard way. Kizaru finally makes his way to Luffy and his crew, and they end up trying to attack him, but they realize they can't hit this guy. He's made out of light. And as Zoro is right under Kizaru's feet about to get killed, he gets saved by Rayleigh. And that's when Luffy finally mans up. In the first time in his mind, he finally realizes that, hey, I'm not strong enough. I can't beat this guy. We're not strong enough for the new world. We're not ready for this. And he screams at Brook and Usopp to go grab Zoro and run. These guys are too strong. We can't beat them right now. And you could tell by the looks of everyone else on the crew's face that when Luffy said that, they knew he was serious. They never heard him say those type of things before, and that when he said that, he was not playing around, that if they don't run away right now, they might end up dying. So when they heard Luffy say those words, they instantly got into motion. Usopp instantly grabs Zoro and starts to running, and everyone else on the crew is trying to make their escape. But reality sets in once again as Kuma pulls up on the crew, the real Kuma this time, and he instantly starts wiping Luffy's crew right in front of his eyes, making them disappear right in front of Luffy's eyes. So as Luffy's watching this, he doesn't know if the crew is dying. He doesn't know where the crew is going. He doesn't know if the crew is vanishing. So in his eyes, he's like, what? My crew is dying right in front of me. He's trying his best to save everyone that he can, but slowly he's realizing that he can't save everyone and that he's too weak. And he realizes that in the final moments as he's slamming the ground, hitting the floor, saying, I'm too weak. I cannot save my friends. I'm too weak. I cannot save my friends. And Kuman swipes him away and he disappears. Now, even though this is the first time Luffy and his crew faced reality, Luffy didn't really have that much time to process what just happened at Sabaody. As he got sent to a new island, he has to learn and adapt on this new island and try to figure out what's going on with him and his crew. But as he's at this island, he just assumes, hey, since I got sent to a new island, everyone else on my crew probably all got sent to a new island. They're probably fine and safe. So I'm probably just gonna meet back up with them at Sabaody. But as he's at this island, a newspaper comes and he realizes that his brother is getting set for execution. So Luffy has to gear up to go save his brother from being executed. But as he's at the execution ground, reality sets in once again and he realizes he's not strong enough for the new world. Now, fast forward a little bit, Luffy actually makes it to Marineford and he actually ends up saving Ace. So as him and Ace are running away trying to get Ace to safety, Ace ends up hearing the Admiral Akainu talking trash about Whitebeard, and he's not going for none of that. So he turns around as Akainu is talking trash about Whitebeard and tries to fight him. But as he's fighting Akainu ends up killing Ace right in front of Luffy's eyes, and Ace actually dies right in Luffy's hands. And at this moment, Luffy cannot believe what he just saw. So he just starts screaming out in like pure agony and ends up passing out. When Luffy reawakened, he could not believe the events that happened at Marineford. He thought it was all a dream and he could not believe it was true. But reality slowly started to sink in and he realized that his brother Ace is actually dead and he could not save him. And he starts doubting himself. He starts losing confidence in his ability. He's saying, I'm not strong enough. I don't think I can do this no more. His enemies are way stronger than me. And he's really starting to doubt his confidence and really seems like at this moment he's gonna quit being a pirate. But luckily he had Jinbei by his side, and Jinbei smacks some sense into him and tells him, hey, before this you thought you were so strong. You never doubted your ability. You thought you could beat any enemy you face, but you realized that you're not strong enough. So what do you have to do? You have to get up and train. Instead of sitting here crying about what happened to your brother, instead of sitting here crying about what happened in the past, you can't change none of that. Right now, worry about the future. Worry about who you want to protect and who you love right now that's currently still alive. And that's when Luffy realizes that, hey, I have to get stronger for my crew and my sake so that this never happens to anyone I love again. So Luffy ends up taking a 2-year break. Him and his crew end up training, and now we see the Luffy that we know and love, the strong and confident Luffy that it seems like can beat anyone that runs in front of him. It seems like Luffy now has tapped into a new strength that he never had before. This is one of my favorite moments in One Piece, and I feel like it doesn't get talked about enough. I feel like when people are talking about One Piece, they talk about the fights, they talk about about the transformations, they talk about the animation, they talk about everything that's happening post time skip, but they really don't talk about what did Luffy have to endure to get to this strength, what did Luffy have to go through to get to this level that he is at right now. And this moment shows us what he had to endure and what he had to go through to get to this level he is right now, because pre-time skip we were seeing Luffy defeat enemies he shouldn't have defeated just by pure luck at this point. And when I was watching the show, I enjoyed it, but I was thinking in my head, is Oda just writing this guy to be super OP? He just never trains and he ends up beating anyone that he runs into. But Oda really had a plan cooking up, and he knew what he was doing, because he knew that Luffy would come to the new world and he would face challenges and he could not beat enemies and would have to sit there and train and get stronger. And now in the later episodes we are seeing Luffy learn new skills, train more, and adapting more to the environment around him. But if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and comment down below what your favorite moment is in One Piece. But other than that, it's your boy Midnight, and I'm out. Peace out.